Hey guys, it's OKB and welcome to how to use and counter Kushina. Now, there's actually a lot of things I can talk about with Kushina, so I'm not going to do everything, but instead of, space time, instead of Sage, Materia Arena, rank battles, I'm just going to do space time and then throw out some arena teams that you can try to use on all levels, so from beginner to expert. Basically, Kushina, you guys probably already know Kushina because she's been out for so long, but if you don't, basically she's a ninja that heals herself a lot. If you hit her, her mystery cooldown goes down, and she could probably use her mystery every single round. She causes paralysis, and her chase causes low knockdown immobilization. That's all you really need to know about this. Oh, except she can also switch between, so whenever she's hit, she can increase her critical rate and ninjutsu by 6% or defensive resistance by 8%. That's basically what she is. Now I have some questions, like I have people asking me questions about offense versus defense Kushina. Offense Kushina is better, but defense Kushina could be used on occasion. There's a whole bunch of ways that you can use her in offense Kushina, but defense Kushina is more of a support, or you gotta have a team that gives her damage, because defense Kushina needs damage, alright? Now, for the breakthrough setup, there's two forms of breakthrough setups that you want to use. There's others, but they're not as good. So if you use defense Kushina, you want to use a +2 on your mystery. Half the time, because you need that damage and you need to hit 4 people, and you need to kill the other team's support. And if you get hit a lot, and by like round 6 or something, you'll be immortal and you will win against the other position 1 because your defensive resistance are just super high and your healing is super high. But if you're going offense, I would probably recommend the Y+1 mystery, simply because you can just keep on hitting people over and over again. You want to hit more times than as you skill. And if you're just getting the advanced skill, if you're doing experimental vials, the top 2 is going to be scaling and healing. Probably scaling first, then healing, and then the chase. Scaling, the healing, and then the mystery. But the chase could help, but the standard attack doesn't matter that much. So that's if you're breaking through Kushina. Kushina is a really good position 1 because she's being given out right now, but she's been given out a lot in the past. She's been out for quite a while. Like, great plates were giving her out for a while. Random events, you can buy her fragments with like free points and stuff. She's a very good position 1 starter simply because of the cost, because she gets so many free fragments, and because she's strong. She can fight against any meta, but she can also lose against any meta. So that means it depends on the support. All right, a pretty good comparison. So I'm going to do a very quick comparison on Kushina versus other ninjas, and then we're going to go over to space time and show you actual examples from experts. That won't have everything, but that will have a lot of things. First of all, Kushina, if you fight against Kakuzu overwhelms Kushina in terms of damage, and yeah, just damage, because Kakuzu has, if you max out the chakra on Kakuzu, you have a 250% defense increase and 100% attack and ninjutsu increase, and that just destroys Kushina, honestly, because Kushina scales, but she doesn't scale fast enough for Kakuzu. So in a normal fight, Kakuzu beats Kushina. So how do you win against Kakuzu? Well, you gotta get the Year Hashirama that lowers the chakra limit on Kakuzu, so his ability is not as strong. Edo Itachi kind of works, but then Kakuzu can kill Edo Itachi really quickly, so it's probably not the best. Minato with his Enfeeble could work, his breakthroughs, but most people don't have that. What I do is, I think I showed you guys on my 189 account, my favorite team, actually probably not an arena. My favorite team here would be Kushina Shikamaru, and this is a good team against almost anything. Not everything, but most things. Alright, Year Hashirama can suppress immunity to debuff, so you can basically cause immobilize, and you can lower his chakra limit to 60, which means Kakuzu's chakra ability is barely used. Kushina Shikamaru also gives you 100% defensive resistance. I'm on the wrong one right now. I don't know why I'm on the wrong one right now. But yeah, with his breakthroughs, if you get him 4 stars, you can get a critical rate and critical rate and defense increase, which is very good for Kushina because Kushina will be hit a lot and then she'll have a huge critical rate, and she'll have some ninjutsu increase, not like to the level of Kakuzu, but at least, you know, she'll be the one who's hitting critical hits all the time. She also heals a whole bunch, so it's kind of nice. Kushina Shikamaru also has this repulse knockdown, and increasing your target mystery cooldown by 1, which is kind of nice if you use Kushina's mystery with it. Year Hashirama has a perfect chase with Kushina so that she can increase her ninjutsu and critical rates because she damages herself. So yeah, that's my favorite team out of all of them. But yeah, if you're fighting against Kakuzu, you need support to fight against that Kakuzu. You could go defense Kushina if you want. One of the typical ones to go with is probably something like Kushina, Iruka, and Kaze Kagegara with defense Kushina. And usually with Earthman, because you want some more defense. So you want Kushina to be hit long enough so that she's able to be immortal. Kaze Kagegara is kind of immortal if you have a lot of chakra. And this is like a typical team with Earthman, of course. And basically you want to use a +2 mystery instead of a Y+1 mystery because you want more damage and you want to hit more people. You want to kill the other side support first, and then you can fight it out with that position 1. It doesn't really work with Kakuzu, against Kakuzu though, but this is something that you can try. Against Kakuzu, it's just the support. You got Year Hashirama, Edo Minato. I mean, you could use Great Ninja Madara too, actually. That's a pretty good one. Ningendo could help you out with breakthroughs, of course. Edo Nagato, not Ningendo, Nagato can absorb some. He's also immune to ninjutsu damage, which is kind of nice. But it's not enough. Like, you gotta get... The top ninjas to use is Year Hashirama and Summer Kurenai. And maybe Edo Itachi and maybe Minato. You gotta use that with Kushina, alright? Now, if you're going to fight against, let's say, Great Ninja Madara, for example. Great Ninja Madara deals a whole ton of damage, but that's actually not enough damage to really destroy Kushina in round 2. But it's enough damage to deal, to really... He does deal a whole bunch of damage, and he does drain chakra, and he has dodge too. So, to fight against... Great Ninja Madara can beat Kushina depending on how strong you are. If you're doing defense Kushina, you might be okay, but if you're doing offense Kushina, you gotta make sure that offense Kushina is strong enough to tank that Great Ninja Madara damage. If she is, then she will win. If she's not, then it's not gonna work. And you're gonna play around with, once again, Year Hashirama, but also like Edo Minato barriers, Earth mains, Water mains for more healing, maybe. Let's see, what else is there? Kushina Shikamaru as usual, yeah, it's kind of nice. Yeah, that's all I can think of at the moment. But if you use Great Ninja Madara plus Kimimaro, it's like a death wish. Like, you use Kimimaro on, at the end to make a barrier that deals 60% more mystery damage, and then you use Great Ninja Madara who deals 60% more damage, and then you have like his own natural, he increases his own attack and ninjutsu too, so he has like a huge amount of buffs, 120% more damage plus his buffs, and you're gonna deal a huge amount of damage to Kushina and maybe the entire team like this. So Great Ninja Madara is actually a good counter to Kushina, but Kushina can take him out if you are faster and you stop Great Ninja Madara from using his chase or something like that. That could work, but it's iffy. All right. Now also Killer Bee. Killer Bee is another one to talk about. If you fight Killer Bee, thing is Killer Bee is on the same level as Kushina, and it really depends on what support you have. Once again, remember, support is very important. Now I don't actually have Killer Bee 4 stars on this account anyways, but he increases his ninjutsu by 30% or his critical rate by 25%, and it's a slightly better scaling if you're going 1 versus 1. So let's see. In terms of healing, Kushina wins. Killer Bee still gets some healing though. But in terms of increasing stats, Killer Bee could win if it's a 1 versus 1 team, simply because it's 30% and he only hits like Kushina once a round, or 2 times if you use a mystery, or actually 3 times if you use the if you use the chase. But yeah, like the scaling is a little bit better on Killer Bee, but it can go either way depending on support. Killer Bee is weak to something like Halloween Kimimaro, which increases mystery cooldown by 1. Chuna Shikamaru, if you use Kushina around 1 on Killer Bee, Chuna Shikamaru can increase his mystery cooldown by 1, and that would really destroy Killer Bee's team. So Killer Bee has a lot more weaknesses to fight against, but if you use Killer Bee, he still can go against Kushina, simply because his scaling is pretty good. Okay, I would still prefer Kushina by a little bit though. Okay, now let's talk about a really big, I should probably go to count 185 for this one. Rinnegan Sasuke. Rinnegan Sasuke scales way more than Kushina does in terms of offense, alright? Like, for each, he can absorb chakra, but at the end of each round, any leftover chakra turns into his power. That means he can get up to 150% in ninjutsu increase versus Kushina, which only gets like 6% per hit. Plus the critical rate, but then if Rinnegan Sasuke uses his mystery, he gets into explosive mode, which means he has a 45% increase in critical rate. Something like that, which is insane. So that means Kushina's critical rate doesn't really matter too much in round 2. Sasuke beats her out of it because unless you hit Kushina a lot in round 1. So Sasuke has a much better offensive potential than Kushina does, but Kushina heals, and that's her thing. And so it becomes a battle of, can you sustain Kushina long enough to kill Sasuke? Because Sasuke doesn't heal himself, right? And the battle becomes sort of, can Sasuke blitz Kushina, or can Kushina kill off Sasuke? And it's a offense versus offense battle, except one guy is like, 10 out of 10 in offense. The Kushina is like 6 out of 10 in offense, and then 4 out of 10 in healing. So it's a battle between those two. And, supports like Summer Kurenai would be good against Rinnegan Sasuke. Same thing with Year Hashirama. But Sasuke is also not immune to status, so you can use anything else that causes immobilize and stuff like that. But yeah, if that position 1 is stacked, chances are it's going to be a control fail. But it's still good. You can still use something like Ibiki. I forgot about him. You can use Ibiki to drain chakra and stop both Kushina and Rinnegan Sasuke. It's a fight back and forth like this. Whew, okay, I've also seen Kushina with Sasuke support. Sasuke using fear. This is all against Kakuzu, I believe, but that's only against Kakuzu. So Rinnegan Sasuke could potentially destroy Kushina, depending on your team. But I think Sasuke is actually has an edge over Kushina, basically just because of his potential. He's very dangerous. He has super armor too, so Kushina can't just like chase him without doing anything special. Okay, so I mean that is a weakness to Kushina. Now if we're talking about Minato, and this is probably the last one before I go to space time. Minato, yeah, I'm gonna have to go to 181 for Minato. Yeah, Minato is weaker than Kushina just in general. I'm not saying that he's worse, but he's just weaker against Kushina. I mean, he has an ability that can reduce his defense by 8%, I think. Right now I'm on Enfeeble, but if you use his defense thing, he reduces defense by 8% whenever he's hit, which, he has a dodge, so Kushina could try to hit him, but then reduce her defense without hitting him. But the problem is Kushina heals, and Minato doesn't, and also Minato doesn't really scale by himself, and so that's a problem, and Kushina just beats out Minato. Now Minato is a great support for Kushina, for sure, with his barrier and stuff. He can actually win an arena sometimes too, because of that barrier, but oftentimes Kushina's run with Kazekage Gaara. Kazekage Gaara is really nice with Kushina. If you don't have him ready, he's in 5K's treasures and seals here. And sometimes he's in time limited treasure 1, 2, or 3. I forgot which one it was. But yeah, 5K's treasures. You guys can see that Kara's here. You guys can try to go for 5K's treasures instead of Edo Hashirama, because Susanoo Itachi will have breakthroughs in the future. So he will be worth it. Chojuro Mifune is also good sometimes. Yeah, some of these are all good. Okay, I think that should cover it. If you want to see free-to-play teams, I mean, just look for people who help her chase, Try to make sure they sustain themselves. So like normal Shisui was given out last time. Suit Minato could work. So Shisui has a perfect chase with her. Roshi has a good one with her, even without a breakthroughs. Killer Bee could work. It's level 1 support, and Nagato could work just to counter things. So Chuna Shikamaru is. I just recommend Chuna Shikamaru. All right, try to get him. You can get him from like survival trial points. You do survival trial and then you get points, which is right here, and just go type in Shikamaru, and then get Chuna Shikamaru. It's very simple. I'm trying to speed this up because it's much more important for you guys to see space time. All right, I think that should cover most of it. Defense Kushina, it's fine, but go forward towards offense Kushina. All right, guys, I'll see you in a couple seconds. And it's going to be arena teams after the space time, which just for all sorts of teams. Space time is just for the experts. See you in a little bit. All right, guys, one of the things I want to show you is this season 56 space time where Zetsu really takes out Kushina, and Rinnegan Sasuke's support with Fear is good against Kakuzu in a way. But hey, they put position 1 Zetsu. That changes things. Now, let me kind of speed this up because, Kakuzu attacks, Kushina attacks. It's all the same thing. We're running defense Kushina right now, and that's absolutely terrible. Think about it. Zetsu uses his mystery, and even though you don't see the breakthrough little thing right there, these Kushinas are broken through. They're defense Kushinas because Zetsu just copied a whole bunch of Kushinas. And that's kind of insane. So let's keep on going forward, right? And like you guys can see that Kushina's kind of getting hit, defensive resistance, and they're not dealing a lot of damage to Kushina. And, we got healers, and the Edo Madara isn't that helpful, but those clones running around, they don't hit anybody, so they don't hit Kushina, but then Kushina has to deal with all these guys with a lot of defensive resistance, increasing defensive resistance. You even copied over the water main. It's hilarious just to watch this entire thing. And you have this Kakuzu right here, even though he's not, I don't think he's position 1, but he can still deal a whole ton of damage with his 100% attack and ninjutsu increase. Increasing even a position 2's attack and ninjutsu basically makes it another position 1 without some buffs, I guess. And you guys can see on the left side, or Osarises or something. This guy's he doesn't know what to do. Like, you can try to hit the Sakura and all that stuff, but he doesn't have the damage. There's no damage. He's just defending against Kakuzu, but Zetsu is just destroying him because it's 9 against 4, and this 4 doesn't really increase. Now, I guess Sasuke might increase his ninjutsu and all that kind of stuff. That's fine, and it does show, but then Sasuke is position 2, and so he doesn't really... Basically, Kushina just... With this many ninjas, even with her scaling, she just dies. So, yeah, that's the first thing I want to show you. On to the next. Of course, you guys can see that. Similar powers. This is 45,000 power versus 57 versus 64,000 power. All right, that's why she was running defense Kushina. But yeah, it's really not enough. Okay, now this is season 56 space time right versus wrong way to use Kushina. This deals with positioning. All right, why would you position Kushina like this? You want your Kushina to be hit. What was their power again? 890,000 versus 790,000. Yeah, I don't know what this guy is thinking. Was he just preparing against Kakuzu or something? That could work. This is a very standard team for people who have both Minato breakthroughs and Kushina breakthroughs. Of course, Kazukagigara is still used, so that's one of the ninjas you really want to go for with your seal scrolls. Now you can see that I would not recommend. This guy should not be hitting Kushina. Like, you don't have stacks on Minato or Nagato. This just doesn't go well for you. You don't want to hit them and buff them more. It's just not helpful. Now, I don't know who has the barrier. Probably Akiba, because he has a lot more power. But yeah, and Nagato kind of works well by draining chakra, but that's only after he uses a standard attack, and it doesn't work when it's a new round. So he just kind of pointless in this battle. I'm not saying it's a bad team. It's just bad positioning. All right. This could be good against Kakazu. That's about it. Or maybe Killer Bee too. I suppose that could work. Especially since Killer Bee does suffer. Like, Killer Bee, if you increase his mystery cooldown by 1, it's a huge blow to his attack damage. Now, yeah, of course, they're faster, right? And sure, they hit more, but, Kushina is really stacked. She has a really good critical rate now. And Kazekage Gaara here, all right, now he's changing the barrier. So maybe this side got the barrier, but I think it's, because of the power, I think it's more Akiva than anything else. Now you guys can see, here's the thing. The right side can control the left side if Kushina is faster. And she is. But she has to be able to use her mystery every single round. That's a problem, right? Now, usually this doesn't work. Usually there's a control fail on here. But because he's a lot stronger than this side's Kushina is getting really controlled and everything. Okay, so was this guy defense Kushina too? No, it was just the wrong way to use Kushina. Okay, so yeah. Eventually this side loses because he's slower, and sometimes that's all that really matters, speed. But honestly, like, oh wait, did the left side win? Yeah, the left side won because, see, Kazekage Gaara is really hard to hit, and the Kushina kept hitting him like this, right? He has shields, he has like a huge amount of defense and resistance. So these are pretty good ways to defend against him. Minato has dodge, and so even when her position one's taken down, I personally think that if the left side played even better than he did, or he or she did, that Kushina would still be alive in round 10 and probably just control that other Kushina. Honestly, though, this is just bad positioning. Don't put them in a row. You want Kushina to be hit. Make their 2 rows and make sure Kushina is being hit by 2 rows. All right, just yeah. But yeah, this guy had the positioning down, and he had the ninjas down too, so it's kind of nice. Okay, next. Okay, this is Dimitri versus Shino. Now, I want to demonstrate that Susanoo Shisui can defeat Kushina. The problem is that Shino did a really dumb move and used his Kimimaro. I don't know why. I don't know who he aimed at, but he should be aiming at Kazekage Gaara because he needed that barrier for the next round. The thing is, Susanoo Shisui should win because Susanoo Shisui has a mystery that stops people from lowering their mystery cooldown, which is basically what Kushina does. So if you're able to use it on Kushina will only be able to use her mystery after like 6 rounds or something like that. Maybe less, maybe like 4 rounds because the effect doesn't last forever. But by that time, Susanoo Shisui will be able to really scale himself up and deal a whole lot of damage with his, like, he increases his damage with his chase. Problem is that chase increases Kushina's attacks, and so like these chases are terrible. You shouldn't do that many chases. The only chases you should be doing is maybe the knockdown to increase mystery cooldown, and then Susanoo Shisui's. Now, here's something that you shouldn't be doing. Okay, so he actually hit the right person this time. He doesn't interrupt them. Oh, no, he does. Wait, which ability interrupts? I kind of forgot. Okay, so one of these abilities interrupted. Basically, Susanoo Shisui has an elemental advantage as well. You guys can see that Kushina has this like red mark on her, red color on her. That means she's not able to use her mysteries anymore, or she can't reduce her mystery for a while. Yeah, and now we finally have the Kimimaro, but it's taken a while, and Kushina is really getting stacked up here. I think this is just a bad play by Shino from the start, and because Kushina is so stacked and she didn't die after that attack, I think she won this one. Now, if Shino had played better and actually hit that Kushina and stopped her from using her mystery, Susanoo Shisui would have won. This is I don't know what was going on with Shino's head, but I was furious. I was like, what are you doing in that round 1? If he really made the right choices in round 1 and not let like Kazekage Gaara take over the barrier and all that stuff, I mean, he would have won it by round 6 maybe. Anyways, that's Susanoo Shisui against Kushina. Next. Okay, here's a Zetsu example of, yeah, Kushina, Kakazu, Kazukagara. I mean, you basically just get it. Also, these lightning mains have leech, I'm sure. Lightning main isn't exactly the best one, but yeah, if you keep on going on, you'll see that Kushina is trying to hit somebody, but she just can't. I don't think. Oh, this is defense Kushina too. Yeah, just don't run defense Kushina too many times. I know this is a pretty standard team with like Iruka and stuff, but it's not strong enough in 1 versus 1 in competitive. You can use it against certain teams, but you guys can see that defense Kushina just doesn't deal enough damage. Next. Okay, next is stronger defense Kushina and Minato versus Susanoo Shisui Edo Hashirama Breakthroughs, which is actually kind of powerful. This is defense Kushina. I think Henigod is weaker. I'm not quite sure. But yeah, Henigod is weaker. But Ashura is a stronger defense Kushina. And that makes if you're increasing your defensive resistance by a whole ton and you're fighting someone weaker than you, chances are the other person is not going to kill your Kushina. And Henigod should really prepare not to kill that Kushina. But what he should do is use his Susanoo Shisui on Kushina so that Kushina won't be able to use her mystery so often. So let's see if he does that. Yeah, so he does that, right? But he has way too many combos up here. Now, he does increase his... Oh, that's right. Edo Hashirama Breakthroughs has some sort of chase thing. So he does increase his attack and ninjutsu like this, but it's not easy. It's not easy to fight against a Kushina still. Simply because it's running defensive resistance. All you got to do is control her for the most part. Yeah. I mean, this is why I prefer critical rate and ninjutsu more, because you're able to fight back instead of kind of damaging. All right, like you guys can see here, like Ashura is faster, but he's not using his Kushina because his mystery cooldown doesn't go down. Now, Henigod does a good job of aiming at the fire main so that he gets to chase Susanoo Shisui, which increases Susanoo Shisui's attack power while not hitting Kushina, increasing their defense. I think this Minato is kind of nice too. Edo Hashirama Breakthroughs lowers their attack and ninjutsu for like 1 round. Yeah, but this Minato is a good idea, though that Iruka, I wasn't sure about that Iruka, because Iruka just dies really quickly. Okay, so now we're back with another Kushina. I don't know what Henigod was doing here, but that was a wrong move. Oh, okay, his Kimimaro was going to die anyways, so I guess that was what it was. Kushina had her attack and ninjutsu and critical rate go down, critical rates from Susanoo Shisui. Keep on going on and on and on and on and on and on. Honestly, simply because defense Kushina is much more powerful, or has more power, not powerful. He has more power, so you just can't kill her. Keep forgetting the gender. But still, Susanoo Shisui can stop Kushina, but if Kushina survives, she's going to deal enough damage, and Susanoo Shisui doesn't heal. So that's one of the tactics that you can think about next. Okay, this is another Zetsu. Shino ran this team, and it's super annoying, but it really defeats stronger opponents, as long as the opponent doesn't have a counter for that. If you keep on going on, so this is running defense Kushina, which is a bad deal because you have Zetsu on the side again. And you have Minato first. I think that Minato was suppressing defense, so lowering defense. So if you keep on going on, you have like a whole bunch of these guys, and you have clones, and then you're like summoning. You can, with Minato, you can summon Zetsu, you can summon Minato's barrier and increase your own defense. And then Byakugan Tsunade can revive and revive and revive both herself and the entire team. Zetsu is just awesome for this. Kushina is weak against Zetsu. That's my point. All right, I don't think I need to show that many more examples. But, okay, something happened here where Zetsu died. And you have Kakuzu left. And I think Shino is weaker in this one. But he still had Byakugan Tsunade. Byakugan Tsunade is it's such a cheap ninja, really. But yeah, like reviving and Zetsu, so cancerous. Yeah, like having Kushina, Kushina is a long-term thing, but these guys are even more long term. You have Kakuzu as position 1 too, with his huge amount of defense. So yeah, this is something I wanted to show you guys. Next, okay, season 54, Umezawa versus Deadly by Noon. I think they are similar power. No, Umezawa is a little weaker. All right, so this is Kushina versus Susa Shisui. I found it kind of interesting. There's sound on here. I'm gonna lower it a little bit. Okay. All right, so I got Rin against Sasuke for Fear, I believe, which is kind of useful because these guys all have super armor, and so the only one you can really aim at is Lightning Moon. Of course, Susanoo Shisui does suppress super armor, so it doesn't matter too much. But then if he attacks Rinnegan Sasuke, then he gets feared, or he can't use his standard attack, which is pretty important for his chase and increasing his damage. Now you guys can see that Deadly by Noon, he's hitting that Susanoo Shisui. But in reality, I think Kushina was the one that was being stacked. So this is a little trick that you can use on people. I'm still not quite sure if Susanoo Shisui is being stacked or Kushina is being stacked. But that Kushina, okay, maybe Susanoo Shisui is being stacked. But yeah, that Kushina will survive quite a bit. The barrier belongs to the right side. You guys can see that defensive resistance Kushina is not bad at all for tanking, but only, if she's hit a whole bunch. And you guys can see that she's using the +2 mystery for defense Kushina because it hits more people. Her paralysis is more important than the damage. Than being able to use it continuously, I guess. That's kind of the thing. Now, of course, Umezawa loses because he has less power and all that stuff, but you guys can see how powerful defense Kushina can be. You have reviving Minato too, but that's not enough in general. Yeah, his Minato revives too, so it's a bit of a... Yeah, okay, they die eventually, but you guys can see that that defense Kushina really held on very well. Even if she was stacked, even if she wasn't stacked, she held on very well. Next. Okay, now let's talk about controlling people with Chase. Season 54 too, I believe. Let's see, I'm probably gonna speed through this, but yeah. This is the highest level someone has Year Hashirama Breakthroughs. It's whatever. Edo Tabirama has a pretty good offense barrier, but Kazekagegara can just take it over. And that's why people use Kazekagegara a lot. Draining Chakra, Kazekagegara gets his defense from Chakra, so it's kind of like if you get trained in Chakra, Kazekagegara can die even though he heals when he's hit. Okay, here's the thing. Let's see. Yeah, the Chase, I believe this is from Edo Hashirama. He's suppressing the immunity to Chase. I think Kinkaku also has something like this. But you guys can see that Sasuke actually has much higher scaling than Kushina does. And this Kushina's position 1, right? She's running critical rate and ninjutsu. She can get killed. And a lot of these, she's basically being controlled a huge amount. You guys see the amount of damage they're being doing? Yeah, that was actually a lot of damage. It didn't show the number, but that was a lot of damage. You can see it from the bar. Now, Kushina also heals a lot. She's scaled a lot. But Rinnegan Sasuke is getting 100 chakra each, which means his ninjutsu is going up by like 150%, which is insane. Honestly. I mean, he obviously has his weaknesses, but Kushina is not one of them in this particular battle. So in a way, Rinnegan Sasuke beats Kushina. Yeah, huge amount. And this is with Minato. Like, Minato really enfeebling him. So he's still dealing a huge ton of damage, even being enfeebled. That's just... that's typically how damage battles go with Rinnegan Sasuke versus Kushina. Of course, control is a different thing, and he had a little bit more control this time, so he wins. Remember, the team behind you is important. It's not just a position 1. And yeah, he loses. Rinnegan Sasuke is not even dead. I mean, not barely damaged. Okay, and you guys can see the amount of power is 870 versus 930 versus 870, something like that. It's 50,000, but in this level, it's not that big of a deal. Okay, offense versus defense Kushina. I just wanted to show you guys what happens when you fight against offense and defense, and the powers are kind of similar, so it's okay. This is defense Kushina, by the way. You guys can see here when you're being attacked. He's even getting critted by accidentally by like this position 2. defense Kushina is holding on, but she just doesn't have the power to kill the rest of the team, including Minato and even the Earthmain. So that's a pretty big deal. And towards the end, Kazekage Gaara is great to have, and so that's one thing that this team has over this team. But if this guy had the same team, then this guy would win because he has offense Kushina. Offense Kushina has a pretty good advantage over the rest. Okay, so now this is the end. Resistance. Sure, you have full health on Kushina, but he loses because you have other ninjas around. So offense versus defense. This is a typical example of what happens when there's not that much control going on. This is season 52. Mighty Shark against Lady Kesho Cage. Actually, Kesho was 20,000 power, and Shark was 980. So it is some of a difference. Once again, this is Rinnegan Sasuke versus Kushina. And Summer Kakashi is an interesting thing to look at. Now, we're running defense. So right off the bat, I think Kushina is going to survive because it's defense. But that's it. You only have defense. And you might have like the barrier on Kazekage Gaara, but you need time to generate that chakra. And the team that you have right now doesn't have that much chakra. Keep in mind that like this team is not bad. Kushina, Minato, Kazekage Gaara, it's all pretty standard. That's what it is. It's a standard team. But against like extreme tactics teams like this, Summer Kakashi, huge amount of damage. Summer Kakashi also reduces shields or something. Yeah, I mean, you're going to deal a huge ton of damage to the entire team, and you're just going to kill everything. Now, yeah, Minato has that, what do you call it? The Enfeeble, which is good for round 1, sure. But it doesn't work on Sasuke with his first hit, like first mystery hit. And so it really isn't enough. Okay, now you have the barrier and stuff. So you're counting on Kazekage Gaara and Kushina to survive the rest of the team. Can you do that? It depends on how good the left team is. I mean, some of Madara was good. I didn't really feel that it was necessary or that powerful. I guess he just wanted to stop. Now you have reviving Edo Minato right there. So it's kind of nice here too. I think Rinnegan Sasuke, if you had a different, more long-term team, it would have worked pretty well, but it doesn't. And so defense Kushina is going to survive and kill Sasuke, simply because we're running shields and she's running defense and resistance. Kazekage Gaara, it's already round 4. Kazekage Gaara is going to get 80 chakra, which means at some point she's going to get 200% defense and resistance, which is a huge amount, even if you're going against a position 1. But it's kind of nice. Summer Kakashi does have a bit of a damage as a position 2, simply because he ignores some defense and resistance with his chase attacks. But of course, you have Kushina, so he should have just used Kushina on Summer Kakashi each round. But since this is defense Kushina, you don't get hit enough to use your mystery every single round. So I would actually even use the Y+1 mystery skill sometimes. But yeah, you guys can see that, Kazekage Gaara and Kushina survives long enough, but the left side doesn't have anything for survivability. So, too much blitz, not enough survival. Yeah, that could be a problem too. And you have this reviving Minato. Yeah, you go all the way down and Kushina wins. Now, yeah, this is an example of how Kushina and Sasuke just goes back and forth, fighting it out. Proper defense, Kushina is better than Minato. Yes, it is. Kushina in any form is better than Minato, but it also depends on your support, of course. I think there's a fight where there's like Kushina position 1 versus Minato position 1, but then they had the other guy position 2 or something, reversed. Yeah. Defense is good, but as a position 2, you're just gonna get killed by a position 1 scaler, and Minato just isn't enough. I mean, you can interrupt people, but you just don't deal enough damage. It's too bad. Like even with your lower defense, this entire team, I think this is offense Kushina too, and so you're increasing your damage a lot, and you're having a lot of shields, making sure you survive, and you're just gonna kill everything. Everything's dead, and Minato just doesn't deal enough damage. I mean, he does fair amount of damage, reducing a resist defense, but it's not enough. I don't remember if this is critical rate or defense to Kushina. Either way, this side would have won because this guy's using Minato as position 1. People don't usually generally use position 1 Minato. Next. Okay, let's talk about this offense versus defense Kushina. This is initiative. And this Edo Roshi team, Edo Roshi has a perfect chase with Kushina. And if you're able to, after everyone attacks, you can use Edo Itachi on someone else's position 1, and that sleep is going to last 2 rounds. But yeah, they don't have it here. Or I think Uchiha Fuku was going to try to do that, but I don't think he got the chance to. So let's see, round 2. So Kushina controls the other Kushina. And this guy's defense, right? And this guy's offense. Well, thanks to that, you have no defense. I mean, you have a status reflect, but you don't have healers or anything. This guy has healers though, and so he basically wins because this guy's faster and he can heal. This initiative beats defense versus offense. Offense and defense doesn't actually matter that much if control is in the mix. Uchiha Fuku just needs to not use fire main, not use earth main, have some sort of defense control or something like that. Yeah, you're just gonna get killed. Controlled, killed. No chance to do anything. Don't be like this guy. Or at least don't be like this guy at this moment. He might have just been lazy, but Sora Null has a good grasp of control. Water main has dodge, I think, so it's kind of nice. Oh, he's using an unusual Edo Roshi ability to break barriers. It's kind of nice too. Alright, so basically, control initiative wins over... initiative plus control wins over offense versus defense. Okay, let's talk about Ronin Naruto really quickly. Ronin Naruto can really smash you up in round 1, even with Kazukagigara, and you guys can see that he controlled with Summit Madara. But here's the thing, if you have other ninjas attacking, your defense Kushina is going to be immortal. Deal a lot of damage. Summit Madara even ignores defensive resistance. But hey, it's going to go 10 rounds. Jesus. Okay. Look at this. Yeah. And Kushina eventually gets... That's just too funny. If he had more power on the left, he might have won because even though Ronin Naruto is increasing his damage, if he went to round 20, Kushina would beat Ronin Naruto simply because of how many times they try to hit her. And then Ronin Naruto doesn't have heal, so... Or I mean, he probably had heal with Leech, but then that guy died. Oh no, he doesn't. Okay. Never mind. Basically, Kushina could have won if he had more power and more stacks, maybe something like that. Or maybe a reviving Minato or something. Yeah, that could have helped. But yeah, this is potentially I wouldn't put Killer Bee because Summit Madara took away Killer Bee's buffs, and Ronin Naruto just killed Killer Bee. If you had a different team that didn't rely on buffs, then I think Kushina could have won even with that defense. Interesting thing to look at. Okay, this is season 51 or something. Forgot. Shark versus One Punch Man. All of this you guys can see on Spacetime videos. Best of something, best of season, whatever. Yeah. Basically, One Punch Man is much stronger, but you guys can see how powerful defense Kushina is. Now, Minato reviving barrier doesn't work against Ronin Naruto because at some point Ronin Naruto is so strong that he just kills Minato in one hit. Just like... Oh, well, I guess they used the mystery and killed... Okay, it doesn't matter. One Punch Man was much stronger than Shark at the time, but you guys can see that defense Kushina really lasted out against this Ronin Naruto. You even summoned the clones, Lightning Main clones, mystery, which you almost never see. It's interesting. But yeah, in the end, defense Kushina was never killed. And the power difference was pretty huge. I think it was like 300,000 power or something like that. Yeah, like One Punch Man was 130,000 power, and Shark was 980,000 power, so over 300,000 power. Basically, Kushina is such a good staller, and you can use him in Great Ninja War and stuff like that. Ridiculous, though. Okay, this one is offensive defense Kushina versus loses to Kakuzu, and this kind of demonstrates how Kakuzu is so overpowered. I mean, not exactly, but this isn't exactly the best way to counter Kakuzu, simply because Kakuzu still has that enormous buff, and he heals himself, and when he does heal himself, his first attack will deal full damage. Oh, he was also running yeah, it was fine. He should have just attacked Minato and just killed Minato, but he dragged this thing out. But still, Kakuzu is so powerful with his 100 chakra and 250,000, 250 100% defensive resistance. It's kind of crazy. Kushina is just doesn't match. You know, if you kill the rest of the team, Kushina doesn't get hit a lot, doesn't scale a lot. She might heal a little bit more, but it's nothing compared to the huge amount of damage that you can do. And you guys can see towards the end, even after being hit for 4 or 5 rounds, Kakuzu still kills Kushina. Now I think the left side is a little weaker than the right side, so that is one thing to consider. But I remember checking the power; they weren't that far off, and so 520 to Crow had more power, 650,000 power versus Kamui's. So Kakuzu had less power than Kushina, but he still won because just how powerful he was. It's ridiculous. Killer Bee isn't that great of a support for Kushina. You can start using him first, but it's not that powerful. Okay, next, Kakuzu versus defense Kushina. Let's see how this goes. You have Edo Itachi, which is kind of useless almost, unless you're blocking, Earthman, right? So you keep on going on. Kakuzu, he has his own barrier, and his Kazekage is hard to kill. Somehow, I don't know why he hasn't gotten chakra yet. Maybe, he hasn't gotten chakra for some reason, which he should be doing. But it doesn't matter too much because his entire lineup is around shields and stuff. And you're fighting defense Kushina, which is fine. But defense Kushina, I think, can stand up to Kakuzu. But then you won't be able to kill the other side. Defense Kushina still gets killed. Yeah. I mean, defense Kushina, one of the weaknesses is critical rate. If your opponent has a really high injury, then and a high critical rate, then it's kind of hard to defend absolutely against it. Yeah, Kushina is just weak against Kakuzu without anything like Year Hashirama or something like that. Lastly is Cage Terror. I'm sure you guys know who he is. He's been on YouTube as well. Now, this is like season 51. He messed up a little bit. I can't really go through everything, but... Oh, there is some sound. Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, keep on going through, on and on. This is great. I mean, he technically should be winning. He should win because position 1 Kushina stacked. And, let's see. Yeah. I mean, he should have won, really, but he made a mistake somewhere. I think he hit the wrong ninja. And if you don't control the correct ninja, then you're gonna get hit really hard. Oh, I think this is where it was. I think he hit the wrong ninja somewhere around here. And then he started losing because basically this Kushina killed Edo Roshi. Almost. We'll kill him in the next round. Yeah, okay. There we go. So now without Edo Roshi, you can't immobilize the other side. You gotta... You're just dead because this guy actually has more power than this other guy. And the left side's been hit a lot more than the right side. So, you gotta keep your control in control. You gotta keep on hitting Kushina. Alright, you gotta control Kushina. I think at that point he hit an Edo Roshi and just messed up and he lost. Just to put it simply. It was Kushina and Kazekage, but the other guy was stronger. So, yeah, Edo Roshi's good. Like, it doesn't have just to be Edo Roshi. It could be anyone who chases Repulse Flow. You want to keep them alive for as long as possible if you're going to do the control route. Alright, if he didn't do that, he would have won. Oh no, Cage Terror had more power and AFK didn't, but I think AFK was more stacked. Or, no, he wasn't. He was still slower. So, anyways, it was a matter of control. Don't mess up. That's all those space-time examples I have for you. I try to rush through because I know my talk was very long. There's going to be some arena teams right after this. Enjoy them. I'll see you guys in a couple seconds.
Suddenly you're nowhere to be found. I turn around and everything has changed. Looking for a way to work it out. I'm trying to find some peace to navigate. The oak tree where I met you, and the writing on the statue. I still remember every word you said. I'm not a soldier, but I'm fighting. Can you hear me through the silence? I won't give up, 'cause there will be a day we'll meet again. We chose the future on our side. Never thought I'd do this on my own, but now I wield the sword you left behind. The oak tree where I met you, and the writing on the statue. I still remember every word you said. I'm not a soldier, but I'm fighting. Can you hear me through the silence? I won't give up, 'cause there will be a day we'll meet again. We'll meet again. Dark for the sunrise, clouds for a blue sky, space for the traveling star. Strong from the inside, you're still my lifeline. I feel you wherever you are. The oak tree where I met you, and the writing on the statue. I still remember every word you said. I'm not a soldier, but I'm fighting. Can you hear me through the silence? I won't give up, 'cause there will be a day we'll meet again. We'll meet again. We'll meet again. We fall apart, you break my heart. I say I don't need you anymore. I'm all alone, pick up the phone. I call and we start all over again. I don't know why we do this, but every time we find ways through it. Round and round, up and down, but it's worth it when you're with me. I don't know why we do this, but every time we find ways through it. Round and round, up and down, but I guess we're just meant to be. We're just meant to be. We're just meant to be. I throw you things, you start to scream. We lose our minds when
Swear I won't forget this, why do I regret this? In my mind reckless, thoughts are feeling endless. Sitting up, I'm breathless, anxiety's infectious. I feel so defenseless, betrayed and embarrassed. I hate being open, I hate being broken. I feel like an ocean filled up with emotion. Anger ain't a potion, rub it on like lotion. I can feel it soaking, reopen, the scars have awoken. I can't move on till I let go. I feel so lost, never at home. Need to be strong, every breath hold. Cause I can't move on till I let go. I can't move on till I let go. I feel so lost, never at home. Need to be strong, every breath hold. Cause I can't move on till I let go.
The pain makes it real, I don't wanna feel, I just wanna kill the bad thoughts and steal a good thought and meal. I'm just lost, I feel, I'm just lost, I feel. I need time to heal, I can't steer the wheel. Cause this drive it kills, and it gives me chills. A nice road it feels, I slip off the peel and crash all the steel. Will I ever heal?
I can't move on till I let go. I feel so lost, never at home. Need to be strong, every breath hold. Cause I can't move on till I let go. I can't move on till I let go. I feel so lost, never at home. Need to be strong, every breath hold. Cause I can't move on till I let go.